Hey guys, Ava here, and today I'm back with another episode of Anime vs. Reality with Bailey, but he's not here in person, he's on Discord.
Yeah, better. It's safer over here so I don't get beat.
What do you mean? That's TRScientist, not me.
I don't know what the hell's going on. You never know. The world's a strange place.
Speaking of strange places, we're going to get back into Higurashi. Probably one of the strangest places we've ever really talked about on this podcast, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway,
No, so I haven't really been obviously no spoilers yet, but this anime's pretty brutal.
yeah, especially when you understand the other aspect of it.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're going into episode 8 where we have a 40 styles phone ringing at the Sonozaki house.
One of those phones with you put your finger in it and you flick the
the
circular
dial.
thing around.
The dial.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mion answers it, and she's still holding on to, Shion. And it's like, can you please stay silent for a moment?
She's like, shh, shh, shh.
So yeah, Mion explains that both Tom and Takano are cursed and are now both dead. And are you trying to make a Pokemon reference here?
She uses electroshock on Mion. It's super effective.
Mion goes down in one hit.
The opponent is now unconscious.
And then she moves on to Granny.
Yeah.
And uses
And then this is where because when we first saw it, this is where it was confusing. It was actually a flashback, and so now we're caught up to the present.
No, 18, number 7 had a bit of half and half.
Yeah, half and half. But I mean, when we started this part, we see Shion, and she remember a few episodes ago when this started.
At the end of 7, she was listening in.
Oh yeah, no, but I mean when we started this one from Shion's point of view, and I got confused with the flashback because I didn't know it was a flashback because never said it.
Yeah.
This is before she meets Satoshi in that.
Well, this is we're up to the point where it's before she met Keiki.
Yeah, but this is bringing us up to where we saw that little part in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of 7, we saw her listening in, and she was about to get caught by who she was listening in on. And it turns out it was Mion.
Yeah, so she swears
Mion's
to get
dragging Granny along, because it tends to happen when you shock an old lady into submission.
No, I think she was dragging Mion, and she had Granny in the wheelchair.
Oh.
And was pushing her along.
No, she should have been dragging both of them. Age before beauty, and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she says she's doing this as revenge for what happened to Satoshi, and she's thinking that the curse is fake and that the family's just shanking people.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you saw that if you've seen that Sherlock Holmes movie, the one for Robert Downey Jr., and everyone thinks it's magic, guys come back from the dead, but
yeah,
it's
I've seen it. Game of Shadows, is it?
Magic trick. What?
Game of Shadows or the first one?
No, the first one.
Okay.
It's the guy's gets hanged, and then it's like an elaborate setup. He pretends he pays off a guard to be possessed outside his place, the hangman puts this little thing on the rope as he's hanged so his neck doesn't snap, and people believe he's come back from the dead, like that type of thing. That's what she thinks is going on, just parlor tricks.
Yeah. And she also, like, Shion is like, there's a torture device that was used on...
That's what she thinks.
Like, that's what she's thinking. It's like, either that or pump full of weird drugs that made him claw out his throat.
Yeah.
Which we know it must be a real thing.
It might be a Saw-inspired trap.
Ooh.
Which a lot of traps
movie?
actually... Well, a lot of traps in Saw are inspired by real traps in real life.
Yeah, I know. There was a Debbie podcast episode about that.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, so Mion talks to Shion, and don't get them confused if you ever see them. Because they are twins.
Yeah.
Like, but they sit down and have a nice old discussion, like curse talk. And since, like, Tom and Takano are dead, that leaves Shion and Keiji to be spirited away by the demon. And, after that conversation, she goes back to Granny and finds out that she's dead. Like, she died from
the taser shock.
She died from doing electric boogaloo. And of course, Shion gets angry because, like, she didn't get her answers, and so she pulls out, I think, the cat of nine tails.
Yeah, or like some. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. I don't know the exact name, but it's kind of like multiple whips.
Yeah, it's like
One.
like it's like cat nine tails or cat of tails.
Yeah, it's like something that they use at the BDSM clubs. Just.
Except this one hurts a lot more. This one can take away
that's
skin.
But it's the same thing. That's what they kind of use at clubs.
Yeah, but they use like level ones that aren't harmful.
No, there are ones that harm.
No, like ones that don't, like the one Shion's using is more designed to dig into the skin.
Oh, some people are into that. I know what you're saying, but like there are some safe ones, and then there are ones that just like inflict pain. It's like
what?
Sickos.
What? Yeah. What is wrong with people?
Yeah, I don't know. Remind me to delete my browser histories anyway.
And of course, like after she's done her BDSM actions, she gets me on to tell her where like all the bodies go, because like Granny's gonna take a nice old swim in the fishes, or in this case, the dead bodies.
Yeah.
So moving on to next. Damn it. Moving on to the next day, we got like Shion poses as Mion when the phone rings, which is pretty easy to do over phone because they've got the same voice.
Yeah.
Like literally, both characters are voiced by the same voice actor.
Yeah, it's not like that scene in Terminator 2 where Uncle Bob voices John Connor. Because the T-1000's trying to find out where he is over the phone, and Terminator, who they call Uncle Bob, just disguises himself as John.
But yeah, so the person on the phone has a message for Granny, but because she is still tired from yesterday, Shion plans to just pass it on to her, which is basically screw the message. Although the message does turn out to be there's going to be an emergency meeting at Furude Shrine, I think it is. Like the assembly room there. So, and then another call comes through, and like it's Kasai, who thinks Mion is Shion and asks to speak to Mion. So Mion pretends to be Shion pretends to be Mion. It's confusing.
Yeah.
So like Shion pretends to be Mion, who needs to get Shion to be on the phone. And like, so she tells Kasai that she snuck into the shrine and says she'll rip off 5 fingernails as repentance. Kasai told her there are some things that even he can't stand up for. So it's like, in her mind, she's like, "I'll screw him now." So yeah, after getting a bit angry and like all that, she regains her composure, keeps an eye on Keiichi, posing as Mion, of course. And she believes that someone is going to take Keiichi and is keeping an eye on him to protect him. And as Mion, it's like, so like she's also messing with him a bit for some reason. Like, do we understand why? Like,
at this point,
like, is she just keeping up the role of Mion and being creepy as Mion?
Because I think she's trying to think, okay, the person, because at this point she believes, okay, the curse isn't real. The family's been doing this, and I suspect like someone is going to be coming after me and Keiichi, and I can protect myself, but Keiichi is vulnerable. So I believe in her mind, she's like, okay, if I can catch the person that's coming after me or Keiichi, then I can punish the person responsible for what happened to Satoshi, or I can find out where he went. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It still doesn't explain why, as Mion, she's doing that sort of action. It's like she's pretending to be Mion 100% almost. It's like,
well, if she I think it's like, because if she's just being Shion, right, then these people are going to be like, they're not going to listen to her because Mion's the head of the house, and so if nobody hears from Mion, then they're going to be checking out the house and figuring out what's going on.
Yeah.
So as Mion, she can be like, okay, Granny sent Shion away. She's no longer living here in the city, so she has a bit more freedom. Even though she's pretending to be Mion, she has a bit more freedom and control, which is ironic.
So yeah, like, for some reason, like, she goes to the meeting and informs everyone about the fact that it was 4 trespassers of the shrine, and everyone is shocked, meaning that somehow they must not know. Either that, or the acting skills is so on point. That it's like anyone listening in would think they're just surprised by the revelation. Anyway, so yeah, Shion's suspecting that they may be involved with the deaths and disappearances. And after the meeting, Shion invites Kimiyoshi over. I don't think this is going to be good for him. You want to take the next one?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so okay, so she believes that someone is going to take Keiichi. We discussed that. As Mion, she sows doubt and fear into him. Then will be Shion.
Covered that.
Yeah.
We're at the last paragraph, basically.
The secret meeting. Okay, she informs the group about the 4 trespassers. This shocks everyone, including Kimiyoshi. Shion suspects that he may be involved with the deaths and disappearances. After the meeting, Shion invites Kimiyoshi over, telling him that Granny Hag wants to talk to him.
This
So
is
at the house,
Bailey's notes, by the way. I wouldn't have said that.
you what?
Just getting that out of the way. I wouldn't have put the word hag.
Yeah.
That's why I tried to avoid
Shion
saying that.
You don't like saying that?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll call her hideous granny like Shion does.
Yeah. That's good.
Alright, so at the house, the two talk. Oh, so you're okay saying the C word, but HAG, that's over the line.
Wait, the C word as in CRAP?
No. I mean, you're okay, like when we meet in person, okay, you can say, like, when we're not recording, oh, you can say the C word, the CU word, but, like, saying hag, that's a problem for you.
Well, hag's a bit of a derogatory term, almost, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess it depends on the context, because words these days keep changing, so I don't know about it. But
it's best to stay on the safe side. Like, obviously, I wouldn't say that C word on camera, but like the other C word, like CRAP, that's fine.
Alright, so let's get back onto it. At the house, the two talk about the curse, and Kimiyoshi tells Shion that if Shion feels, she tells Shion who he believes is Mion.
Yeah.
Now, if Shion feels sorry about what she did, then she won't be spirited away by the curse, which relieves her. And then he says, unlike that Hojo brat and his family. And this shocks Shion, because she's like, but
wait, what?
Shion ripped off the nails, so she ripped off 3 nails, so Satoshi should be fine. And the Yoshi guy's like, yeah, the nails ripped off with Kesai, Yoshiru, and herself to be forgiven. And then Shion starts to lose it, and the mask begins to slip, and Kimiyoshi notices this, but it's too late.
Electroshock!
As Shion tases him.
Yeah. It's like, it's her main weapon to knock people out. Anyway, moving on to episode 9. Go on, Bailey.
Yep. Oh, you want me to go? Okay.
Yeah.
Shion freaks out Kechi when she tells him that, because the episodes here will kind of skip because they're filling in gaps for previous episodes, so there's going to be kind of a jump skip, so at certain places. So might be a bit confusing.
We're sort of covering stuff from a different perspective at this point.
Like different POV.
Yeah.
Alright, so Shion freaks out Kechi when she tells him that Tom and Takano have been killed, as there was nothing on the news. Shion tells Kechi that her family pressured the police from behind the scenes to know what happened. Shion hangs up the phone when Kechi starts losing his crap about about the curse, and hangs up.
He also see, like, we find out later, he gets a bit suspicious of her. Because of the fact that it wasn't out on the news, but she knew.
Yeah. Did you notice how weird the phone was?
How so?
Well, because when you look at the buttons, right? So the phone, when she hangs up, you know how you place the phone down, you pick it up, and you press the buttons like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
The numbers we see are actually, she has the phone is positioned on the side.
Yeah.
But the numbers are facing us, the viewers. So we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So like the phone, when she hangs it up, rather than hang it up beside the numbers, she hangs it up on top. Like she hangs it up on the side.
No, but some phones had even if the numbers are on the side, they still had it on top.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the phone, she'd have to. The way for it to make sense would be the phone has to be placed on top rather than on the side for the numbers to be straight.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to look back. It'll make it makes more sense when I'm explaining it.
Well, if it's a wall-mounted phone, like the 80s had that sort of phone at some point.
All right, so Alright, so she's annoyed that her ice cream is melting, which may or may not be sea salt ice cream, as it looks exactly like the one that Roxas has in Kingdom Hearts.
Are we gonna wait? Should I have gotten some ice cream to eat?
Maybe if you want. Okay, so
it's a bit late now.
yeah. Okay, so Shion calls Kimiyoshi's son, telling him that Hideous Granny wants to put a search party together to find Kimiyoshi. And he's a bit skeptical at first, like really? It
Why
hasn't
do
been
we
gone
need
that
to do
long?
that? He wouldn't have got lost.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, okay, yeah. Alright, let's do it. So after the opening, we see Kimiyoshi has a chain noose around his neck. So it's like, imagine a rope when you tie a noose around, but it's attached to a chain. And his hands
Basically,
are
what
behind
you
his
put
back.
on a dog.
Yeah, and it's like on a wrench, so she can lift him up or let him down with a wrench.
Who would hang their dog like that?
Wait, I didn't get it. What do you mean, dog?
Noose. Chain.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. When
That is
Kimiyoshi
so
doesn't
big.
answer her questions, she'll tighten the chain noose. She wants to know if there's a chance Satoshi is alive. She believes that it wasn't the curse, but Satoshi being part of the Hojo family is what caused his disappearance. A hideous granny is the only one with the power to make this happen, and she did it long ago when the dam was being constructed. This was when the curse originally started, and the villagers were rioting.
Yeah.
So she had the construction minister's son kidnapped to stop the construction on the dam decades ago. Shion wants to know who spirited away Satoshi, but Kimiyoshi doesn't know, as it's an unwritten rule to not ask who committed the act.
Wait, it can't be decades ago.
Or it might have been a decade ago.
No. It just feels like it's not like in decades, it's at least years.
Years.
Yeah.
I think I meant to put decade as in like 10 years.
I don't even think it's that.
Or is it 5 years?
I think it was 5 years.
My bad.
Because it has to be around like when the dam stopped when it started. The dam causes the curse, and because it's only happened like 3 years in a row at this point, it has to be like it can be no more than 5 years old. This curse.
Yeah. Okay, so Shion wants to know how one person can be killed with no body being found, but then realizes she has her answer. She runs to the place where she dumped Granny's body and calls out to Satoshi, who then appears as a shadowy hallucination.
So yeah, what happens is she like drops a torch, and it rolls into like a position that's like behind her.
And it looks like Satoshi.
Yeah.
And in her mind, Satoshi's telling her to keep on living, and she ends up accidentally hitting the torch, and then Satoshi goes.
Like, oh no!
Remember, her foot hits the torch when she tries to reach out for him.
Yeah.
So it rolls away, and the shadow goes. Okay, so Shion confronts Mion about this, and Mion tells her that if she was there, she would have tried to stop it, but Shion doesn't believe her, and she's like kicking the bars. Lies. Filthy, squishy lies.
That's obviously not the line, but close
enough.
No. It's close enough. It's
like in Beta Sim. That's one of his lines, and I can just imagine her saying that.
Yeah.
Just screaming it.
I can imagine her saying that as well.
Yeah. Alright, so Shion continues to act as Mion and sets her eyes on her next target, Rika, who's the latest survivor of the Farood family and the current head.
Not latest.
No, he's the last. Sorry, not latest.
Yeah, you can't be the latest survivor of a target.
Yeah.
It's like
Shion isn't
it's
sure.
It's like saying he's the only one. He's like the last one left alive. He's lasted the longest. Actually, no, that makes too much sense.
Yeah. Okay, so Shion isn't sure if Rika's involved, so she talks to her after school, and from the talk, she decides that Rika is somehow involved with the curse, and decides to off her as well.
Yeah, Rika's gonna
And at night,
die.
yeah, and so at night she's just sitting at home, and she's just kind of like stabbing the ground with a knife, wondering if Kimiyoshi has died already.
Because
Then about
he's
Satoshi.
currently in the hole, isn't he? Or is he still
Yeah,
hanging up?
I think he's still hanging up.
He's just still
So
hanging in there, like the cat poster.
yeah, just hang in there. And
I
so
think he's
Rika
gonna
shows up
survive
with this
though.
bottle of soy sauce that's way bigger than her.
Yeah, she's like got like this massive bowl. She's like puts it in her bike and rides all the way.
Yeah, and the way she's walking, and like Shion's like a little suspicious because when Rika's walking, she's like matching her footsteps.
Yeah.
That means there isn't a sound. And so and then
Which is impressive
she
for a little kid to
Shion,
be able to do, actually, if you really think about it. Like, to be able to perfectly match footsteps.
hello?
Hello?
Yeah, were you saying something?
It's impressive that a little girl was able to match the footsteps. Like, the sound
Oh
of
yeah.
footsteps and everything. Like, to
Yeah.
not leave an echo or anything.
Yeah, and so what they get to a room, and Shion, she opens like a wooden plank. She pulls it off and reaches down to get something. I don't know what she was reaching for. And then
Yeah.
while her guard is down, she gets sprayed in the eyes by something, maybe like
By Rika.
bug spray or something.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it was like mace.
Nah. That would have
Yeah.
burned.
Yeah. And so then Rika, while her eyes are hurting, Rika
Goes
hops
for
on
the
top of
injection.
Shion, and she tries to inject her with a syringe full of something, but the spray she uses gets her in the eyes too. And so Shion is able to get the upper hand, and she tases Rika, then injects her with whatever's in the syringe.
And
And
then we get her with a knife.
which
Like
it
Rita's like
may have
standing
not
there
been
with a knife.
poison or
She's like
something.
she was about to like try and fight her.
Yeah, and so yeah, Shion's like, I look forward to fighting you. It's like, I wonder how long you will last in my dungeon. And so rather than be tortured, Rika just uses the knife and unalives herself.
Well, what she does is she puts it against the wall, holding it there, goes like slams her neck into it.
Yeah.
Like she slams.
And not just once, repeatedly, and
Yeah.
then
If you remember, we saw that
like
at
3
the
or
start.
4 times.
We saw that at the start of the first episode.
Yeah.
So it took us 9 episodes to get around to this one moment.
Yeah, and so and she's just and what's her name? Shion's just laughing at that.
Yeah, because she finds it funny.
She
She finds death funny.
And I don't know, it reminds me the laugh she makes. It's like, you know those annoying anime characters you get that have those
Like the
obnoxious laugh?
Like the rich
Yeah,
laugh.
the snooty, the snobby people.
Hmm.
Yeah. So after her death, the phone rings and it's Satoko and asks if Rika is still at her place, and it's like, why, yes, she
come
is.
on
Why don't you
over.
come on
You
over?
get
And
to die
we
as
see
well.
that Shion's covering up Rika's body with newspaper, and she's like,
Yeah. So like she is just cleaning it up and like disposing the body down the well.
Yeah.
And it's like continuing on as Mion. And she talks to Keiji and
Could
telling him
you
about
imagine if this was like, have you seen Cabin in the Woods?
I haven't seen the movie, but I've seen the kill count for it.
Yeah, and essentially it's like all of there are aliens underground,
Yeah.
or creatures from hell or something, and they're like, to appease them, they have to feed them a person a year. And
Well, no, they had to successfully do a horror scenario.
Yeah, like a sacrifice, and I was just thinking, okay, what if this curse is like a monster, and they have to sacrifice bodies like to appease it, so it can eat well. Like maybe it comes out of slumber, eats for a bit, goes back to sleep, like a bear in winter or something. Just like hibernates and then it only wakes up to eat. That's what I was thinking.
Anyways, are we sure Shion's posing as Mion? Because why would Mion be telling the headmaster, like Kimiyoshi, about that?
Yeah, I have no idea. Because she was like, I told the headmaster, because she was doing that to freak out Ketchy, and he's like, I told Rika as well, and so she's trying to manipulate him into thinking the curse is real.
Oh, so it's convenient she killed Rika.
Yeah.
So yeah, the two meet up with Rena later on, and they like go for a search at Rika's place. But wouldn't you believe it, the doors are locked. Probably because Satoko left and went over to the Sonosaki house. And like, they managed to find a ladder. So they used the ladder to climb up to the window, try and open the window. And that's when Shion has a moment of snapping and starts shaking the ladder.
Yeah.
And it doesn't last that long. We saw it before. The scene doesn't last as long in this episode because like Ren shows up with some villagers and a key to the house. So they search the place, can't find Rika obviously because, well, Shion knows why. And like, they go and have a look around the marsh and like, they can't find anything there. And one of the villagers asks who was the person to notice Rika was missing, and Shion says it was Keiichi, which makes him a suspect. Like, why is it that when you suspect, like when you notice someone is missing, you become a suspect? When did that become such a cliche?
Yeah. Many eons ago. But that's like, she does this stupidest like thing. She makes this guilty face because she's thinking, oh, it was so easy to make him a suspect. It's like right in front of the two guys that was standing. It's like if we were talking and you accused me of something, it's like, no, I would never do that, and you believed me, and then I made a face that the Grinch does, the Jim Carrey one. Nothing suspicious here.
Anyway, so yeah, Oishi shows up for a few seconds, and we learn that he suspects Shion, who he thinks is Mion. Again, don't get confused. We got one character playing two characters at the same time. I don't know why this has to be such a thing. Anyway, back at the torture chamber, turns out Sadeko's still alive. But it turns out she's also being tortured by Shion. And Mion's still alive as well. She's like begging Shion to stop. And Shion's like, oh, I'll stop if you apologize 1,000 times. So, and like Mion's just like, I'm sorry. And Shion just keeps, like, torturing Sadako, and, like, Mion goes faster. And, like, it's like, for some reason Shion is scolding Satoko about how she was a burden to Satoshi.
Yeah.
Like, how? How is she a burden to him?
I don't know. That's what she was saying.
It's Shion logic. It doesn't make sense, doesn't it?
You don't. Logic doesn't work on crazy.
Someone quote that. Bailey 2023. Logic doesn't work on crazy. I'll be surprised if someone does quote that. Make that a quote. So yeah, but like, Satoko isn't crying. Why is she not crying? This is what's going on in Shion's head. It's like, why are you not crying, Satoko? And like, Satoko blames herself for her brother's disappearance. Obviously she would do that, wouldn't she?
Yeah.
And like, she's like, when he returns, I'll show him how much I've matured. And like, she's like, Shion like stabs her like, it's like the gut area. Like, really trying to make her cry. But she doesn't cry. Instead, she dies. Yeah. And of course, Shion, right after she kills, like, Satoko's, like, remembers Satoshi's last words, like, I'm leaving Satoko to you, and it's like, oh, she just realized she really messed up. She killed the wrong person. Didn't she?
Yeah.
It's like, oh no. Satoko's gonna become Golden Freddy.
You had one job.
Do you get what I'm referencing?
Yeah.
That is such a deep reference. Anyways, it's like, so yeah, she's gone complete crazy, complete murder hobo. And the next day we get Keiichi and Rena showing up to the main house of the Sonosakis, and Keiichi found out about the crimes over the phone with Shion and what was in the refrigerator? Why the refrigerator?
Yeah. Because it's based like, remember when they were searching the...
Oh yeah, because Rena noted the food.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we know what happens next. Shion tortures Keiichi. Like, and all that. It's like, she gives him a warning at tasering him. The police Keiichi gets saved by the police. And like, does something with Mion. Like, what does she do to Mion?
What do you mean?
Oh yeah, that's what the next point is. That's right. It's like,
yeah, because we know what happens. Because this is kind of just like a quick. I skipped most of this part with Keiichi and Rena because we already know what happens.
Yeah, the whole investigation in the fridge.
Yeah, and the next time you see me, it won't be me, so stay away from me.
And so and like, they go to the hole in the ground, and Shion starts to take her clothes off, and it's like,
whoa, what kind of hentai is this?
All I can think of is the picture of the squirrel. It's like, whoa, buddy. You know what picture I'm talking about?
I think so.
It's like, this squirrel's like got the hands out. It's like, hold up.
Oh yeah.
But turns out we're just doing some clothes switching. Before Mia can go, she has to go down the hole where the dead bodies are and apologize to Satoshi. However, Mion's like, he's not down there. And tells Shion that she likes Satoshi as well. Confronted Granny to plead for Satoshi's life. She even thought about strangling her at one point. It's like, oh, so both of them just wanted to kill off Granny, huh?
Yeah.
But turns out the family didn't have anything to do with Satoshi's disappearance. He did that all on his own. Like, apparently Granny even allowed Shion and Satoshi's relationship. And Shion doesn't... But turns out Shion doesn't believe her because she's crazy. And thinks the curse carries out due to the family's suggestions. So now she believes the curse? It's like, at first she didn't believe the curse, and now she does? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I know, because she's hearing the voices and the banging and that, so driving her crazy. She doesn't know, I don't know if she thinks it's a curse or if she thinks she's going crazy from the guilt.
You want to continue on? I'm going to take a sip of water here.
Are you sure? Alright, let's do... Okay. So, where we go?
Down a bit more.
So this is after... Okay, so...
Granny did some research for a long time, but
what?
no one... Like, so... Hold on. See where my... Oh, hold on.
Yeah,
See where my mouse is?
There, sorry. Granny researched this for a long time, but no one did. And this shocked Shion, so it means the one she killed for revenge. And I think she's starting to think, okay, maybe this thing is real. And she can't just wrap her mind around it. And she can't accept it because if she does, then, like, she was just killing these people for the sake of killing and not out of some perverted revenge justice type
anyway,
thing.
And she's like, to be honest, like, if she's telling the truth, she'll see Satoshi in heaven. And she gives her the go, oh, nah.
Yeah, and so this is actually a scene from the previous episode, like later episodes, when we saw Satoshi, Ketchy, and Mion being taken out of the cave on the gurneys.
Turns out Mion is Shion.
Yeah, Shion.
Shion's pretending to be Mion.
Yeah. So Shion poses as Mion, gets away with the murder, but she hears a voice telling her to unalive herself, and she's cursed. Like you see hands coming after her. There's this banging on the cupboard. And the voice drives her crazy, and she meets up with Ketchy one last time before stabbing him.
So yeah, I guess he dies there or something?
No, remember he's, at the end, he's in the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But she's on her way back to her room. And
she, like, leaps kind of across, like, the balcony.
Yeah, because she like leaps from one balcony to another to get to a pipe to slide down when she left that place.
So no one would see her leave.
Yeah, so she went back up the pipe and all that, and like went to jump across the gap, and because of nails.
No, I don't think it was nails. I thought it was at first, but I kept looking back at that video. It's some invisible force like grabs the shirt.
No, I think it definitely gets caught on something, I think. Actually.
No, I thought so too, but I was rewinding that and looking, and I didn't see any nails. I think something like grabs her shirt, so when she makes the jump and she moves, this force holding onto her shirt just tears it, and then that throws her off balance and she falls.
No, she doesn't make the jump, does she?
No, because she makes the jump. But there's something, like, it's not a nail. I don't think it's a nail, because I was looking at the shirt. It didn't look like anything pierced it. And so when she makes the jump onto her balcony, she's on the ledge, but she just doesn't jump down to the floor. So when she lands, something rips her shirt, and it's like she's pulled back.
Oh.
And I don't think it was a nail. I think it was, like, the curse, like the demon in spiritual form, or whatever it was, pulled her back.
And it ends with her splatting all over the driveway, like the parking lot.
And that reminded me of for School Days visual novel. There's an ending where the girl kind of Kotonoa unalives herself, and she does it like it's like if I can't be with him with Makoto, then you can't either, Sekai. And so one of the endings is like she jumps off the building, but she falls and makes it like she goes head first, and just before she hits the ground, they kind of like the scene goes in slow motion, and she's looking at the two in their eyes just before she dies, and it's like, and there's like a lot of brutal scenes, but I'd argue that one's the most traumatic because it causes Makoto and Sekai to not end up together.
How high up is it? That?
How high? Oh, it's pretty high. It's like, because it's multiple. It's like it's like one building. It's an apartment complex, and there's multiple floors. I think it was maybe the 10th, 13th floor, something like that.
I really wonder how tall those sort of buildings are, because there's a scene in Happy Sugar Life where the two main characters fall off a roof, but only the older girl dies and the young girl survives somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm honestly curious, would it actually be possible for someone to survive that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's sort of the same as like in King's Game. The girl jumps out the window to avoid dying and lands on her face. But somehow survives. It's interesting, like, deaths from like a high height are really cool sometimes. Like if they're done well. Like a good example is Die Hard.
Yeah.
With the watch.
With the first one, I don't care what people say. The first one's a Christmas movie.
Oh yeah, it is. But if you remember, like how it was like the watch, and like John was trying to save him from falling, but the watch like gave way or something. I think it was. That fall was actually like the face on Gruber as he fell. That was genuine shock. Like, because in the actual moment, like for the filming, they were doing like a count of 3 drop, but instead on 3 they dropped on 1. So when you see his face like being all surprised as he falls, that is actual surprise.
Oh yeah, because he didn't know.
Yeah, he didn't know they were going to do that to him.
Yeah, it's much like the surprise when you know he plays Snape in Harry Potter.
Yeah, I know.
And the movies were still coming out when the books were being released.
Yeah.
And he wanted to quit after the second movie, but J.K. told him no, like Snape is a double agent, and so he knew about that and about Harry having a piece of Voldemort's soul in him before anyone else did.
Oh,
And that's why he stayed on.
Anyway,
yeah, I thought it's pretty interesting.
We're getting a bit off topic, but we're at the end of the episodes anyway.
So we can be off as much topic as we want.
Yeah. We should probably end the episode here, though. Because at some point we're going to get too far off topic and then we'll end up talking about cars or something.
Room.
Anyways, links will be in the description to both of my channels and both of the Bailey's channels as well. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know next week comes out. A ding, a ding, a ding, a ding.
Dong, 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 dong.
I'm Ava. Ava out.